What sparked this video is that today, as I am quite a few times, I was approached by a woman who I was getting in my car. She was parked behind me, and she saw that I had autism frame on my car. Long story short, she saw that she tapped on the window, and she said that someone in her family, so I'm trying to keep her anonymity, she thinks probably has autism, but can I come take a look at the child? And she said that the mom, she thinks the mom is in denial, and just could I let her know what I thought? So good afternoon. Happy Friday to everyone. I know everybody's probably getting off work, thinking about what they want to do this weekend, but I wanted to come on and talk to you about autism. And what sparked this video is that today, as I am quite a few times, I was approached by a woman who I was getting in my car. She was parked behind me, and she saw that I had autism frame on my car. And long story short, she saw that she tapped on the window, and she said that someone in her family, so I'm trying to keep her anonymity, she thinks probably has autism, but can I come take a look at the child? And she said that the mom, she thinks the mom is in denial, and just could I let her know what I thought? So I went over, kind of saw the child, and I'm pretty positive that it is autism. But the reason that I decided to make this video is because I have often been approached by people or talked to people who say they know moms that are in denial, and they think the child may have autism, but the parent or parents are in denial, and they don't want anybody. They don't, so very sensitive about the topic. So people often don't know how to approach it. So I'm always like, have them call me. Do you think they'll talk to me if I call them? That kind of thing. And so sometimes that works. Sometimes people don't want to talk. They don't want to talk about it. People generally don't like you telling them anything about their children that says that they're less than perfect. So that can be a touchy subject. But it's good if you know some things so that you can kind of maybe steer them in the right direction. So I really feel like, you probably have heard the word autism, and you see autism awareness, and you might see a puzzle piece that's associated with it. But what is it really? Like, you see it. I mean, it's just like, well, that's another example. But I was thinking about breast cancer awareness. But autism, you're like, well, what is it? I mean, you hear it, but who's really talking about it? Then they give you like a clinical definition. You're like, well, I don't know anybody that probably has that. But currently, the rates for diagnosis are 1 in 54. When my daughter was diagnosed, it was 1 in 10,000. That was 24 years ago she was diagnosed. So it keeps increasing as the years go by. So it's 1 in 54 currently. So chances are you either know someone who has it, or you will come in contact with someone. So I wanted to talk about some of the things that you can look for when you see a child, because I feel like, especially in our community, African American community, a lot of times a lot of us don't know anything about it, and we will say a child is bad, misbehaving, doesn't listen, they need to stop him or her from doing this or that, because people don't know what it is, and it just looks like misbehavior when really there is something going on. And because we don't have a label for it or know anything about it, the first thing we jump to is, you need to get your child, they need to stop doing whatever they're doing. They, not necessarily like there could be something wrong or like something that needs to be addressed. So some of the things that you will see, so I am not a doctor, I'm not a health professional, I'm just a mom, and I just want to kind of break it down to you in layman's terms. So if you know someone, and usually you'll see signs about 18 months because the child may or may not be talking. Usually that's like a dead giveaway. They don't have language, or they might, when they say words, they kind of just mumble, or you can't really understand them. When most typical children, they're talking and they're saying their words, and they're, you can tell that language is developing. Typically in children who have autism, speech is delayed or non-existent at 18 months, sometimes 2 years. This particular child, I think, was a little over 18 months, was not talking. Sometimes they will, if you call them, they don't come, or they won't respond, and so like, I know, like with my daughter, I'm like, she loves music, but when I would call her, she wouldn't come. And it's like, what is that? And they're like, you need to, people think you're not training your child well if they don't respond. So sometimes they won't respond. I'm looking at some of my notes. A lot of times they may be sensitive to touch, light, and sound. So you may hold their ears, or if there's a lot of light, or there's a lot going on, or certain clothes, they may only want to wear a certain shirt or pants, or only certain types of things, because they can be really sensitive to touch. Sometimes they may rock. If you see them sitting, they may rock. Sometimes they might flap their hands like this every now and then. Sometimes that's like calming for them, or like if they get overstimulated, you might see children that'll do that. Some children will only eat certain foods, and that what I mean, like a lot of children are picky, but these children will only eat chicken nuggets and French fries. They eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They will not eat anything else, or they only eat cereal, or they only eat hot dogs with no bun, or whatever. It's like usually something that they only like certain textures of food, and that's it. You cannot, I don't care what you do, they are not going to eat. They're going to eat what they eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And again, people on the outside looking like, you need to make them eat breakfast. You need to make them eat more veggies, or whatever it is. When you're on the outside looking in, you just feel like the parent may or may not be exposing them to different things or whatever, but that's what they will eat. That's all they will eat, or they won't eat anything else. Sometimes they might appear hyperactive, like kind of all over the place. Sometimes they can't really get settled, and then a lot of children don't sleep. And again, people on the outside, do you need to put them to bed? You need to get them on the schedule. Da, 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 da. All of that. Not gonna work. It does not work. They'll nap during the day, but going to bed at night, or it's super duper late. And again, when you're outside looking in, you think they need to get that child on a routine. Da da da. So you'll hear that kind of thing. Sometimes they'll run. They're runners. They'll like dart out, because sometimes they see what they want. They just run for it. And a lot of children, like toddlers, it's a difference. So you'll know, because these children might be even older and they're doing that. So you'll see that. So those are some of the things to look for. I think if you see some of that, maybe start thinking. I put a link in my description for the Autism Speaks, which is like the largest autism awareness organization. They talk about symptoms and some things you can look for, and some resources for parents. I also put my phone number, because I take calls anytime, day or night, because I know how it was for me. I did not have anybody to talk to. It's one thing talking to a professional. It's another thing talking to a mom who's in it, who's been in it, who, knows. So that's why I did that. So I also so the thing about denial is, I don't really know how to help someone in denial, except for to kind of give my experience, because I don't know how to like get them out of it. I can just only offer what I know. But a lot of parents are in denial. Everybody around them knows there's something that's going on with the child, but for whatever reason, maybe they take it personal. Maybe they think it's something they could be doing differently. Especially when by the time it's really evident, you've probably been getting criticized by other people because of your child. Like, why isn't he or she doing this or that or what? So people are in denial. People don't want to talk about it. But I say, if you know somebody like that and you have the opportunity to maybe, pass my information along to them, and they will talk, or you can call me. We can kind of figure out a way to try to get them some help. Because the thing is, the earlier you get the treatment, the better. So the sooner you can find out, get a child officially diagnosed, the more resources that will become available to them. So, and there's a lot of good resources here now and in everywhere. So not just in Cleveland area, but everywhere. There's, online resources, there's, in-person resources. So the sooner you can get them diagnosed, the better. So if you know someone, it's time to start, maybe trying to prod them in the right direction. But look for those things, and don't be so quick to judge moms, because, people in the stores, they have something to say. Well, always got something to say about somebody's kid. So because I've been there, I'm less quick to put my mouth on someone's child and what I see, because it can be a myriad of things going on and you have no idea. So that is my 2 cents for today. Have a great weekend. Again, if you know someone, I'm happy to talk to any mom, dad, grandparent, caregiver, anytime, day or night. If I'm not available, I'm not available. But you can always leave a message, text me. I'll be sure to get back with you, because it absolutely breaks my heart. Like, when I hear about a mom who's struggling, who is in denial, who doesn't know what to do, who's frustrated, who's scared, who's depressed, who's anything other than moving forward, getting help for herself and for her child. So I'm always like, ready, let's go. What do I need to do? So don't hesitate to reach out. And that's it. So that is my little spiel on autism. It is not a scientific diagnosis. It is just some things that you can look out for just as a regular layman, non-professional person, and hopefully you can help someone move in the right direction. So have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon.